Good day, South Africans. I'm back again in this platform, YouTube. I find it very comfortable and very direct that I communicate with you instead of addressing you through possibly media statements or through interrupted communication to you as South Africans. I've issued a media statement on the 12th of June explaining or clarifying the investigation which was conducted by this office in 2013 relating to the Gupta aircraft landing. I indicated that the member of the DA, Mr. Mainir, lodged a complaint in May 2013 where he approached the office requesting the public protector to investigate the role of the executive in the landing, because he was indicating that the president or former president Zuma was involved in that particular process. Several ministers were also involved, for instance, Minister of Defense, Minister of International Relations, Minister of Police, Minister of Home Affairs, Transport Minister, and Minister of Finance. Then what happened is that the former public protector conducted the investigation and also requested Mainir to provide further information. What then transpired is that there was no further information which was provided, and then the former public protector decided to limit her investigation, in that she then informed Mr. Mainir that she's rejecting to investigate the role of the executive in this investigation. And she also wrote to Minister Jeff Radebe and informed Minister Jeff Radebe that she's decided to limit her investigation in this particular matter. I think you've seen the letter which we've shared on social media, which was written to Mr. Mainir. But there's also a letter which was written to Minister Jeff Radebe, who was the Minister of Justice at that particular time, dated 21 August 2013. So then she informed them that she'll be proceeding to investigate the complaint which was lodged by Colonel Anderson, who complained that the government, in their own investigation, they didn't give her an opportunity to present her side of the story. And all the interviews which were conducted by the former public protector, these interviews which were conducted, in fact, where the public protector was interviewing the former commissioner of correctional services, Commissioner Moyana, and also she interviewed the state attorney was also present in that particular interview, Mr. Matebula. It was focusing on the role of the JCPS Cluster Task Team investigation and how they afforded Colonel Anderson an opportunity to present her side of the story. So what has transpired so far is that my spokesperson was ambushed on 702, where he was accused that we are not telling the truth and this matter must be taken to or we must avail the documents to the State Capture Commission. I must indicate that in the morning yesterday I was approached, or I was requested by the acting secretary, who was inquiring how they must request information from the public protector relating to the commission's work. It's interesting then that in the afternoon yesterday, my spokesperson then was informed that they will ask the commission to request the documentation from the public protector. Indeed, we've received the correspondence from the commission, especially signed by this acting secretary, and I also indicated to the acting secretary that we agreed with the chairperson of the commission that anything which is sent to the public protector, the chairperson must be approving it or having sight of it, especially on how we should be engaging with the commission. So I'll be submitting that record to the commission, and it contains, among others, the following documents: the correspondence between the former public protector and Colonel Anderson, where the public protector was inviting Colonel Anderson to a meeting as part of the assessment of the complaint. The former public protector was requesting specifics as well from DA Shadow Minister of Defense regarding his complaints to avoid a wide scope, and also requesting specifics from the DA Shadow Minister, which is Mr. Minor. There's correspondence between the former public protector as well and the DG of Justice, where the former public protector was inviting the DG to a meeting so that they can discuss the complaint. There's correspondence between the former public protector and the Minister of Justice, again informing the minister about the complaint, and the minister promising to share the report, the investigation report of the JCPS cluster. And indeed, there is proof that the minister provided the copy of the report to the former public protector. There's also correspondence between the former public protector and the lawyers acting on behalf of Ambassador Kolwane, where Ambassador Kolwane was invited for an interview when the complaint was assessed, and also between the details of the disciplinary process against Ambassador Kolwane, where the Department of International Relations were taking steps against him. And there is also a notice or letters to Mr. Dlomo, who was the coordinator for intelligence as National Intelligence Coordinating Committee, as well exchanging information, requesting information from Mr. Dlomo. And there is also an affidavit of Mr. Dlomo explaining their investigation in the matter, and documents relating to the interview which was conducted, as I've indicated earlier, between Moyane, the former Commissioner of Correctional Services, and Mr. Matebula, the former State Attorney. And the closing report, which I've shared with the public on Twitter, and the closing report was because after the investigation, in fact, before I joined Public Protector Office, there was a draft Section 79 notice which was prepared then, but the Section 79 notice was only focusing on a limited scope, especially the role of Colonel Anderson, or that she was never involved or given an opportunity to present her side of the story in this investigation. So what transpired is that since 2014, nothing happened, and when I joined the institution, then the guidance was given to the investigation team that since the public protector or former public protector never proceeded with any investigation against the executive, then let's finalize the complaint of Colonel Anderson. Then that's where we utilize all the information in our possession, and then we drafted the discretionary notice to Colonel Anderson, where we were informing her that we'll be closing the matter because we have evidence that you were involved or you were consulted throughout this process of the JCPS cluster investigation. And we finally closed the matter in 2017. I've shared the closing report with all of you on social media. So this is the record which I will be sharing with the Commission. And I must indicate that I'm doing this so that I can clearly articulate what we have in our possession, and also I'm not doing this to show that possibly I'm reporting to the former public protector, but it's just for the benefit of the public, because this matter is of public and national interest, so that the public can know that this is the information we have, and we've got nothing to hide. We will share the evidence and all the documentation with the Commission, so that the Commission, they can also have records of this. And I must state clearly that the public protector is not a state or is not a government department. We are not a subject of investigation by the Commission, but we are cooperating with the Commission so that they can do the work. which at any rate is part of the Protector remedial action.